Hey there, Ty here, and welcome back to Minecode. It has been quite some time since we've been in this world. I think quite a few years or so. It did originally start when I had to make this logic gate tutorial. But anyways, you aren't here for any of this. You're here for this, and this, and this, and these, and those. So let me demonstrate just how this gate works. So, you walk through the pressure plates, or whatever your activation device is. You walk through, closes behind you. If you do it again, it redoes it. Whatever way you're going. If you're going to do it twice, you just hit him again. It's a little memory unit. So first of all, this is what one, I guess, iteration, I don't think that's really the correct word, line of the gate will look like. It is stackable. You can make it as long as you want, and the height depends on your pistons, how much they can push. So I believe it's 10 max total, including your framework, so keep that in mind. But I did use this triple piston extender on the bottom, which initially was designed here by Rat Pat, triple piston extender. As you can see, if I press this button, the triple extender goes back down. This lever is for bug fixing. It goes halfway up. It is half iterations instead of the whole thing. But the issue with this was that there's this observer sticking out here that I didn't like. So I attached this observer and replaced these with a double piston extender. So you have a double piston extender, or you have a triple piston extender powered by a double piston extender, if that makes sense. So this is one contraption, or this is one contraption, and then this moves this up and down to follow it. So again, if you watch this bottom here, you'll see these go up, and this observer follows the top piston to power it, and then they all come back down. As such, this is everything you need for one layer on the bottom. This is everything you need for one layer on the top. If you want a picture of it as a whole, feel free to take a screenshot and rebuild this. And this redstone dust is just this stuff. Although actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to change it to that. If you just power that right there, that works just as fine, and then I don't know, it's a lot smaller. It's not as tall. That's the design I changed the other two to. That is, I don't remember who made this triple piston extender. I think it was the same person, Rat Pat, I believe. Yeah, I think it was them. I don't know, but I do have slight variations of both of them. So keep that in mind if you are using them. And then here you can see I just made a mini one for testing, which was 4. It uses a button. If I press this, over here, press it closes. And you can see these because I didn't cover them up with sand or concrete, but I mean, you can do that. Although, sadly, you can only do one layer. If you do more than one layer, the way the pistons fire, it actually breaks layers of sand in the middle. My voice cracked, in the middle, or concrete, whatever you choose. So how this mechanism works is you have, let me go over here to this little demonstration. So we want it to, every time you use it, flip between, if it's opening or closing, which is controlled by this repeater flip-flop over here. And you also want it to run the full button pulse into each side before flipping. So if you notice here, you should understand what's happening, if that helps, just as a visual. So how we power that is you have this main button going into here, doing the flip-flop. So if you see, this flip-flop is off. If I press the button, it changes it, and now it's on. If you press it again, it is now off. And we use that, which is just this thing here. If you'd rather see it separately, here's one. You just run a button into an inverter, into a piston that makes a lock, and set these both to 4 ticks. And this is it. This is the whole memory unit right here. Click it, and it flips. Click it, and it flips. So we use that to power a piston on the left and an inverted piston on the right. And all it is having a torch to flip the signal. It's an inverter. So T flip-flop to piston, and T flip-flop to inverted piston. So you can see one's extended, one's not. And then if I press the button, it'll flip, and that one's extended, and this one's not. You see the dust is off, the torch is on. And so what that does is whenever we start, we have the repeater go through into this thing. This doesn't go into anything, and then this is delayed going into here to switch it. So you press it goes through here the whole time, and when that ends, this stops and it flips over. So that's how we're controlling this. And so all you do is, instead of a lamp here and a lamp here, you have this one go to the bottom, this one go to the top sections. And so again, I don't think I really showed the top, but for the bottom here, I guess I don't really, if you know how observers work, you can see this. If you don't, I will make another video on that. I'm not really going to explain the design of triple piston extenders because it's not necessary to this. You just need to know this is what you need to do to get it to work. And oh, for some reason this didn't pull it back up, but it usually does. I don't know what was wrong there. Ignore that. But so you see over here, we have this button and this button, which all they're doing is running to the same input. So it's essentially the same as doing something. I forgot to grab a button. It's essentially the same as doing something like this. So you have this button do it, and this button do it. It doesn't matter. They're the same thing. You just have them running to the same spot. Oh, okay. I was really confused. These are not where I normally place these in my hotbar. And so this is one button. This is the other button. So you have it running into the right circuit and the left circuit. And you can see here's the pistons. This one's on the bottom pushing up. This one's on the top pushing down. That's just to make it a little more compact on each side. Instead of having it horizontal like those, all it is vertical. And so you have this running into here, inverted into a flip-flop, which sends a signal down to this piston, and an inverted signal into this piston. So either this piston's on or this piston's on, and depending on it, it changes which one. So the fact that this piston's on means whenever we press the button, the repeater will go through down here and run and activate the bottom circuit. And if we press the buttons again, it'll run the bottom circuit, and then pistons will flip. And now if we press the button again, you'll see the bottom won't run, but the top will. It'll go into here, go into a vertical torch ladder, which goes up to here, and it goes through and powers these. And then these activate, triple piston extend, and push it back down. There you go. And so that's essentially all there is to it. It's a little easier to see on this side, on this bigger one. So here I decided to use pressure plates instead. These pressure plates go here. They go to the repeater. You want to connect the two inputs together just to make a double-sided input, like the same as the button example I showed you down there. Then here's our left section and our right section. We're going to have this middle spot with a delay go into an inverter, into this flip-flop. As you see, it's on right now. It has power. And so what the flip-flop does is it runs an inverted signal down to this piston, the left one, and the normal signal to the right piston. I guess double inverter, but doubled negatives make positive because math. You know, you can on, off, on. You see what I mean? You should know how torch ladders work. They just flip every time. So what were we? Yeah. So if we hit the stuff, it will fire this piston, go down through here, activate all of these, then we can walk through them. And if we hit the other one, these two pistons will swap. So let me do that for you real quick. Oh, I hit it twice. That's my bad. You can hit two of them at the same time. You just can't do it as far apart as I did. Which, that's only an issue with the pressure plate. Just do buttons instead and you'll be fine. So if we flip it, as I just said, sorry for the delay, you might have forgotten what we were talking about. This one was down, this one was up, this one was down. This one was activated, this one was not activated, and now it is reversed. So this one is not activated, this one is activated, do the flip-flop, power goes through into this block, pulls it out of the block with a repeater, diagonal redstone ladder up here, and then powers all these. And then this one does not get powered because there's nothing to pull out of the block. Or there's nothing to push through the block. It's not really pulling out, but you get what I mean. And so that is essentially it. It is very flat. I mean, this is a horrible building job. I just kind of tried to show you You can have it look like however you want on one side, and then you're gonna need some sort of like walkway or something here. Like you could make it a little taller and put like a wooden walkway so you can completely hide this on the inside of like your castle or whatever you're doing. If you're just making a wall, this might be a little difficult to hide this part, but I'm sure you can figure out ways to do it. The building limitation is only this part that sticks out. Then again, you can just build it out of other blocks. Like you can do this in other ways. You don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it, but that should be enough. So one last thing, I'll just walk through again. Close it. Walk through again. And close it. All right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, YouTube.